Hey everyone, and welcome back to r/Pettyrevenge. Before we start off these stories, I'd like to ask you to turn on your captions so it's easier for you to follow along. I ruined my roommate's night out by lying to her. My freshman roommate was horrible to me and bullied me the entire semester. She would spread rumors about me in our sorority and residence hall for no reason and tried to make me look bad any chance she got. It was a nightmare. So, one night, she was heading to a party that I'd just come back from. She was getting a nice outfit on and doing her makeup, and she told me that she was trying to impress this guy that she really liked and he was at the party. I told her that I saw the guy she liked at the party and he was making out with another girl, and they went to his room. I totally lied. He was at the party, but he wasn't with any other girl at all. She was so upset and disappointed she just took off her makeup, put on pajamas, and watched TV instead. She even stopped pursuing that boy. Oops. Gym parking lot, Pettyrevenge. So, I go to a gym near my house that over the past 6 months has exploded in popularity. Only large-scale gym around. There's 2 parking lots, one close to the door and another behind the building, maybe 100 meters from the furthest spot to the door. So lately it's been very cold and the close parking in the front fills up very quick and people will wait around for a spot since the turnover is usually quick. However, I guess some people are impatient as lately people have just begun to park wherever they can stick their car. On the sidewalk, grass area, covered in snow at the moment, and even on a crosswalk area that leads to a ramp that leads to the door, effectively blocking access. This last offense especially annoyed me since I have a quad uncle and accessibility is always an issue with some douche parking his car somewhere he shouldn't because he can't walk 50 meters. It started off here and there and now consistently there is always someone blocking the ramp entrance. I spoke to the manager of the gym and they said they would look into it with a tone that said to me, whatever. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. I bought some window markers, the ones you can easily wipe off, and every time I came and saw someone park there, I'd write on their driver's side window, "Thank you for parking like a douche." I kept this up for nearly 3 weeks. Now amazingly, eventually people stopped parking there, and clearly this is a hot topic because I hear people occasionally mentioning, and the gym actually posted a sign asking for whoever was vandalizing cars to cease. I got my point across, so I stopped. A week later, I was in the free weight area, and I heard this guy beside me complaining how his car got hit. I look over and said, shouldn't have parked like a douche then. Circle of life. My sophomore year of college, my best friend and I, both female, lived in co-ed dorms, where the rooms on either side of ours and across the hall were all guys. For the most part, this was fine, until the guys that lived in the room that shared the wall our beds were on decided to stay up every night and play video games until 3 in the morning. If it were normal people playing, this would have been totally fine. However, they yelled at each other and the game the entire time they were playing that had the volume loud enough that it shook the walls. I had a 7:45 chem lab and the roomie had a 7:30 linguistics class, so we both needed to be asleep well before 3. We'd calmly ask the guys if they would turn it down, and every night they said we could suck it up and deal. So we eventually did. That night, we turned every speaker we could toward the shared wall and secured them there as best we could. We also synced and set our alarms, attached to the speakers, to play Circle of Life from The Lion King. We warned the guys across the hall and on the other side of our room because we knew it would be loud. The following morning, most of the people who lived on our floor awoke to the Circle of Life, and we heard new screaming from the room next door. They were pissed to be woken up so early, and apparently the guy in the top bunk was so startled by the alarm, he hit his head on the ceiling. Yay, lofted beds. It took a few more days of doing this, but they eventually quieted down at the reasonable hour of midnight. You leave your trolley? I'll bring it back to you. So I was at a checkout in my local supermarket behind a couple buying their weekly shop. They easily had about 4 to 5 of the big bag for lifestyle bags and a shopping trolley with them. Now, the checkout aisle is only small enough to fit a trolley, but not enough room to move around it. There I am, waiting for them to pay up so I can buy the one drink I have with me, expecting them to load their shopping bag up into their trolley and take it out of the shop, Instead, they pick up their bags and begin to walk out, leaving me blocked into the checkout. Completely and utterly rude move. So I hurriedly paid for my drink and with no other option, loaded into the trolley that they'd left, blocking my way, and began to walk out with their trolley. But this is where I get petty. I see them obliviously walking out with their shopping, so I slowly overtake them, then start leading the way with their trolley. We reach the entrance to the supermarket with me a few feet in front of them. I take my one drink out of their trolley in the entranceway to the supermarket, then proceed to park the trolley on its side, right in front of them, taking up the entranceway in front of them. While looking at them deadpan in the eyes, and without a word, I walk out of the store. No beer for you. I work at a place that delivers food along with beer and wine. Now the alcohol we have is overpriced for the quality. Wine bottles are $25 and 6 packs of beer are $15. Also, due to state rules, all alcohol sales must be before midnight. So I can hand someone beer at $11:59 and it's okay, but if I get to their house after 12, I can't give them the alcohol. Due to this, we don't take orders for alcohol after 11:15. The other night, a lady called right at 11:15 asking to order just beer. Our order taker turned around to ask me if it was too late. I looked at the delivery board and it was almost empty. Right when I was about to tell him it was okay, I noticed the address. It was an older woman who ordered food the previous day and didn't tip. She said she was too broke to tip. I told him to decline the order. If she's too broke to tip, you're too broke to order overpriced beer. You didn't ask me directly. Today in school, we had to work in groups. Some of the guys were talking about some girl who rejected a boy we will call Ben. Then a girl we will call Olga said, "Wait, who did what?" And I knew they wouldn't answer because they were in the middle of talking, so I told her. She said, "I didn't ask you. Don't answer if you weren't asked directly." This pissed me off, but my revenge came. Some guy asked for a drink, and I told him I still have a bottle left and gave it to him. Then I told Olga, "Oh wait, he didn't ask me directly." She was pissed. After a while, she dropped a pen and it rolled away, so she asked if someone could pick it up for her. No one but me heard her, and I just said, "Sorry, you didn't ask me directly." Charge rent for literally every little thing? Good luck trying to rent your house to someone again. This is not my story. It's a story my coworker told me today, which I'm posting here with permission. When my coworker was a child, they used to have a neighbor, and said neighbor's landlord was a complete douchebag. She would charge rent for anything and everything which is in her house and look for who knows how many excuses just to be able to charge more rent. She even charged more rent simply because their neighbor would use the fireplace. So one day, the neighbor moved out, but not without leaving a little gift. The neighbor went to a fish market, got an eel, and then hid it in the fireplace. What led my coworker to tell me this story was that his mother, who still lives there, called him yesterday. She told him that ever since the neighbor moved out, the house wasn't rented to and anybody else ever again. And the landlord still didn't figure out the neighbor put an eel into the fireplace. In a rush? I'll walk as slowly as possible. In my country, it feels like drivers do not care that for a zebra crossing people have right of way. There used to be a zebra crossing right next to my house that cars were always zooming past and not letting people cross. One day, I was walking home after a particularly long day at work and was feeling pretty grumpy and ready to change into something comfy. As I approached the zebra walk, I saw a car coming pretty quickly. I stepped out anyways, causing the driver to stop pretty quickly. He honked at me and gave me the "what the heck" hand movements. So I, now in a worsened mood, turned to him and as painfully slow as possible inched my way across the tiny bit of road, wasting as many precious seconds of his that I could. Not much of an inconvenience, but it felt pretty great. I was riding that adrenaline high for hours. Thanks for listening to these short petty revenge stories, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Do it. Just do it.